Hi, welcome to How to Repair. Is your washer dryer not drying the clothes properly? Is it taking a long time to dry? Is your washer dryer still leaving the clothes warm and damp at the end of the cycle? Have they still got water in them? Well, this video is for you. I'm using a washer dryer for ease of filming for you. This machine comes totally apart, so I'm able to get good camera angles on all the problems that occur. But this video can be used for any make of washer dryer. There are 3 videos in this series, one about the drum not rotating, another one which will explain in depth how a washer dryer works, and on this machine we'll be looking at the condensing unit and why it is not condensing the water correctly. Okay, the first thing we need to do is take the cabinet apart. Now let me quickly explain. If you have a freestanding washer dryer, some of these are highly complicated to get into the working components. You may even have to take the drum out of the machine. Other machines are easy to work on, like this one, and we are able to remove the top and the whole of the back of the machine to give clear visibility to each working component. Do always keep your screws in order of the way you took them out, as some screws have different threads. Okay, I've plugged the machine back in with the back and the top off because I'm wanting to actually inspect whether I'm getting any water coming through from the low pressure valve, which is designed to trickle water down here into the condenser to assist in the condensing process. Now, to test the actual system is pretty straightforward. I'm leaving the machine run for about half an hour and I've seen no water come through here at all. Although the condenser is warm and the heating unit at the top is very warm, you can see the machine is actually pulling just over 1800 watts of power. That means that the heating system is working correctly. What we're having a problem with is the condensing process. And as you can see here, this pipe is the pipe that attaches to the water valve at the front there. And if we're not getting any water coming through here, the condensing process can't really work efficiently. And this is why your clothes are coming out damp, moist and hot, but not drying or condensing the water in the clothing. So what we need to do now is take the water valves off and do an inspection on the 3 solenoids. Also, you just saw the pump come on, and that means that the pump is activating to drain the water from the base of the machine. So let's turn the machine off and take the water valve system out. Now, another quick way that you can check, and you should only do this if you really know what you're doing, is you can actually check if any water is coming out of this pipe using a bowl. And I'm watching my fingers to keep well away from the actual pulley wheel. But as you can see, this is all very warm, it's running, but we have no water coming out of here at all. So let's just quickly drop the valves off. Okay, I'm underneath the workbench here, and here you can see that the water valve bank is here. The water valve bank actually consists of 3 water valves. 2 are for the wash cycle, and the other one is the low pressure valve, which trickles the water down on the condenser. But I'm just going to take one of these off, as well as the main one that we're looking to see if it's faulty. And I'm taking that out so you can actually see the comparison between the 2. All of these 3 coils should be the same reading. And if we go across the first one here and go across the 2 terminals, you can see that we've got a reading. Now I'll change that to 20k ohms so you can see the resistance value on the actual coil, and we've got 3.59. Now if I jump across onto the one that I suspect is faulty and go across the 2, I've got no reading at all, and I'll just change that back to continuity, and again no reading at all. So that valve is faulty on the coil, and you'd normally have to replace the whole water bank system, but I'm going to take it off to show you a hack. Okay, first thing you need to do is actually take off the other plug for the solenoid. Do take note of the actual colouring system. We've got blue on the black, brown in the middle and white on the front. Taking a photograph is quite the best way to go forward. Then undo the screw. This is a plastic thread screw, so it is different to the others. Then you will be able to undo the little clips that hold this plastic cover in place, and it is quite fidgety to get these out. I use a little hook screwdriver and I go down underneath and just prise them up and do one at a time, but don't put too much force on it because you will break the clips otherwise. Once it's undone, that will come away. Now the next thing you need to do is undo the 2 screws that hold the water bank valve bank onto the actual soap drawer, but do be aware you want to support it while undoing the screws because there is nothing supporting the soap box at the moment. Once you've undone the screws, we can then push down on the valves and carefully prise it apart, and I will move the camera for you now just to show you how I get this out. Now, supporting the soap box, you can push down on the valves and you need to turn it slightly because you've actually got to clear the solenoids on this hose here. But it is possible to do it without actually taking the whole back of the machine off. And once you've got it out, you can then remove the whole actual water valve bank. Okay, as I said, I'm going to show you a way to save money because I think this is quite disgusting really when it comes to the price. I've had a look for the customer and this water valve, the cheapest one I could find retail price was about £76, and that's for a triple water valve. That's disgusting. Other companies are selling a similar water valve bank but for a different make of machine, and this may only be £20. So rather than having to give the customer bad news, especially before Christmas, what we're going to do is replace the valve with one which I've got from another machine. Now, of course, this wouldn't swap out, but the actual solenoid will. And let me just show you why. I'm setting my meter up to 200k range, and I'll test one of the good valves on this. And as you can see, I've got 3.57. If I go across onto this coil over here and test across this coil, 1 second, you get good contact. You can see I've got 3.88. The coils are the same value, and it's so simple to swap out. If you can actually find a water valve, whether it is a plug fitting or a spade connector fitting, you could always cut the plug off and then just put spade connectors on it. So if we go underneath here and carefully with a flat blade screwdriver lift up the valve that's broken, then slowly twist it and pull it off. That's our Duff coil, and I'm going to use this coil off this one, and again I'm carefully prising it up not to damage the coil in any way, and then just twist it and pull it towards you. This coil now can go directly on, oh, wrong way round, sorry. This coil can go directly onto the water valve, and that will work perfectly. Simple hack, save yourself a fortune. Okay, I don't make as much money anymore from it, but I suppose you'll always help out by donating to the website. Simple hack. We'll go across all 3 coils now. 3.55, 3.57, 3.89. All basically the same value, and that is a good water valve ready to install in the machine. Okay, now we're ready to insert the new water valve, and the most important thing is these rubbers go into the correct location and in properly, otherwise you'll have a leak on the machine. So slot the water valve in, and of course we've got to turn it slightly at an angle to get these solenoids up and through. Once you've got them up, you'll be able to line it up with the holes and then carefully squeeze the bottom of the valve and make sure you support the soap drawer so they all go in. Now we can quickly insert the wiring. Make sure you get it the right way round. And then supporting the valve, do up the 2 screws. hand tight. That's all it needs to go. Now we can insert the plastic again. Carefully just let it clip into place and then replace the screw that came out of it. Connecting the water valve again, and we're ready to test once again. And there you go, I've put the machine on, and if you look closely here you can see water trickling down occasionally into the actual condenser plate. And what I'll do for you, just to show you the flow of water, I'm carefully going to remove this. It is a little bit difficult, and you can see the flow of water that's coming through this, and it will turn itself on and off as required. Should see a bit more in a second. And there we go. And there you go, dryer's back up and working again. It could do with a clean in the condenser and most probably on the heater box as well, but I'll save that for another video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, you can always support the website by clicking on the Bipolar Beer page, and don't forget we sell all the spare parts for your washers and dryers at the website, and there are many more videos to assist you in any repairs that you ever have. Thanks very much indeed for watching.